Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for July the 2nd through the 8th, 2018. So let's just take a moment to take a deep breath and to connect in with God at this moment, who's coming forth to help you to let go of any concerns. It's a sense of your intuition your intuitive awareness being very acute more than ever before. And the angels are helping you with this. They are sort of stepping up this frequency so that you can have higher or more access to your divine guidance. And if you would call upon them just by inviting the angels into your any situation, by just thinking about them, thinking about God or the angels in any situation that you're going through, that you're worried about, and they're writing out the word sorry, if there's something that you need forgiveness for, they really want you to immediately call upon God and the angels. Just the thought of them will will raise your vibration and allow you to start receiving messages, insights of profound hope, profound compassion. And so right now they ask you to tune in by just thinking the name of God, as they keep writing this out. Just by thinking the name of God, your soul's reconnection with God is reanimated for you. It's always highly active, and it's always in place. You've never lost this connection. But what happens is that when you worry, you tend to go down the road, the very long road they're writing, of your ego's judgment and criticism. It's, confusion and all these things that sort of set you off, and it begins a path of challenges. And this makes it seem as though you've dropped down some rabbit hole and you can't find your way back. But what they want to remind you is, if you were to think the name of God or think of your angels, that this line of communication would be restored to you. You would no longer be swimming in that chaos of your ego, and you would find that peace within your soul. So don't relent in focusing upon God, in focusing upon the angels for support. Don't let your worries get the best of you, is what they're saying. Don't let your worries distract or disrupt that soul connection. So we have a tendency, a habit, to bypass this connection and we go into fear. Which means we're depending or relying upon, calling upon our ego. And all it's going to do is increase whatever it is that you have going. So if it's suspicion, it's just going to increase that suspicion. It's going to create, arrange the mind of your ego is going to arrange the illusion as such that you can only perceive through that vein of understanding. And so that's why it's very important that you think of God or think of your angels. Just think of them And you will feel the this you'll feel this elevation within your body, you'll feel this elevation within your mind. This is what you'll have a seed of hope, no matter how small it is. These little seeds are the essence, the sign, the signal coming from God and the angels as they're helping to support your alignment with your soul, with your purpose, with your true path, with your true position within the circumstances you're experiencing. So don't let anything get between you and your soul connection. Don't just give way to your worries. Don't assume that your worries are real. Don't assume that your worries or your concerns or your suspicions or your assumptions are going to manifest. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a hiccup in your life occurs, something you weren't expecting, and all of a sudden you immediately react through fear. And you assume, because I know this, I do it all the time, and you realize, a little bit later, find myself catching myself in the middle of it, and thinking and allowing myself to see this differently, allow myself to be aware of what else could possibly occur. And when I go to, I call on God and the angels, I usually see some kind of confirmation, like an angel number 6 or the word safe, that lets me know that I'm going to be all right. And I just need to get my state of mind in that same place where everything is all right. We just tend to, they show me the word excessive. We just tend to be excessive, and we obsess and, and we exaggerate. But that's what the ego is doing. It's sort of creating this confusion, not because it's evil, but because it doesn't have the ability to help you or to understand your problem. So when you go to it, that's the only reaction it can give you. And you see why it's so important for us not to react with the faculties of our ego, because it doesn't have the support. You're going to something that cannot provide you solutions, cannot provide you clarity. And once you realize that your soul is standing in the power, it's always standing in your power, and it's always standing and holding your deepest desire and the clearest outcome that you could possibly welcome and invite into your life. When you realize that, then you'll have the clarity that no matter what you can't get right about the situation in that particular moment, that your soul is standing with you, way ahead of you, but standing with you, and is already exacting the outcome of love for you. So all you have to do is lean upon it, trust, have faith. Just turning your attitude in the direction of faith will also draw those solutions closer to you so that you can begin to experience them. They're there, but when we're in fear, it's like we're pushing away every bit of our sanity. I mean, you can't have sanity and have fear. So it doesn't matter what you're understanding or perceiving or seeing, it's still not going to be a sane solution, because you are sort of um, engrossed in what you're afraid of. And so the angels want you to understand that you have to stop being afraid. And I mean, like, I don't mean this in general, but I mean it in that moment. You have to stop yourself from being afraid in order to to receive what it is that you are truly wanting. If you want peace, then you have to stop being afraid in order for them to show you the ways of peace. That means the way to go about it, to resolve something in the footsteps of peace. And they're right and impeccable. This, the art of peace, the art of beauty, is that comes from God and the angels, is an impeccable solution, an impeccable outcome, one where you will have no regrets, no matter what occurs. When you come from a place of peace, love, and beauty, the understanding, like that peace that, the peace that, what is it? The peace that passes all understanding. That is what you achieve. And that's what you need to give to yourself first before igniting your fear. You know, why fuel why fan the flames of your fear when you can step into peace? So, let's take a look at the card for the Archangel Oracle card for the week and see what the and the message is comfort. Okay, the Archangel Azrael. And this card says, I am with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. Okay, so the main message here is that the angels bring to you is the word comfort. And this means that they are with you. This also means, I'm saying the word accessible. You have all the comfort that you need accessible to you. And they want you, I'm hearing them say, call upon them to provide you, to make your life comfortable. Pray the prayer to make your life comfortable in the midst of any situation. Pray for clarity, but now pray for also to make your life comfortable, to make your heart comfortable in this situation, so that you can make room, create a seat, a platform of divine love to guide you. That's what the message that I'm getting from Archangel Azrael, to call upon him and the angels and God to give you comfort in whatever situation you're experiencing. Let me tune in to this message a little bit, see what else is coming up. They are showing me a very wide trunk of a tree. You know, this is my symbol for your spiritual awareness and your connection. And the branches even look like a mushroom. So this you have so much abundance of knowledge, intuitive, spiritual guidance. It's the universe that your soul has cultivated over your lifetimes is just really filled with so much comfort that if you now start to ask for it, you would begin to receive it, that which you're willing to allow. And they're showing me, they wrote the word laws, which when they write the word law, this means the spiritual laws of attraction or other spiritual laws are um, being activated, and that you're working in alignment with these laws. You have the abilities, you have the insight, you have the clarity. This gift has been afforded you to see your situation um, in a place of comfort, in a place where you can be soothed into a, a position of hope, a position of faith. So this comfort, when you pray for it, it'll help release you from your harsh judgment, the stance of your ego. Your ego can only judge. And I know a lot of times our ego seems quite rational, you know, because it's agreeing with you. Whatever you know, conjured in your mind, however you feel you've been wronged, the point of separation, right now, the ego sees everything from the point of separation. The original separation is separated, that you are separate from God and therefore less than God, and therefore not worthy of God. Therefore, you have to work very, very hard to get back in God's graces. So your ego sees everything from this point of separation. And that means that it's you against everyone else. And you will never be happy or fulfilled, even when you feel you are justified in this point of view. You will never feel comforted because it's not true. You are not separated from God, and you are not separate from anyone that you're dealing with. You don't have you don't have different desires. You want peace as they want peace. You want love as they want love. The true part of all of us, that part that is connected and knows no separation and all is oneness, wants peace together for itself and everything that it embodies. It wants happiness. It wants love. It wants joy. It wants to experience these things, joy. It wants to experience abundance. It wants to experience success. It wants to cherish our interconnectedness that is experienced through our relationships. It wants to experience the expansiveness that you are feeling, that you feel is summoning you. So the changes that are occurring, that are wisping by, um, these changes are all the connected to that inner oneness. But when you see change from the perspective of the ego, separated, you see yourself alone. You see yourself challenged rather than supported, because if you were seeing change through the perspective of oneness, it would be support, because nothing is disconnected. So change is a part of you, flowing through your ideas and your deepest desires, which you would be aware of if not for the disruption of this illusion of self, sort of isolated. You would be aware of this. Okay? So let's take a look at the cards for the beginning of the week. Comfort ye, my people. From the Handel's Messiah. I see this card, a word that keeps coming to my mind, and rightly so. All right, so here we starting off the week with the Three of Air, which is the Three of Swords. This card is a card that shows generally feelings being hurt, And since the air suit is about thoughts and ideas and communication, then it's about being aware of words or things that we express or communicate that can be hurtful to ourselves and to others. Your ego's judgment creates this kind of pain. You create this kind of pain and you don't even realize it, except that you know you're experiencing it because when you're not happy, that would be the reason, because allowing your reality to be defined by your ego, which, as I've said, is not evil. It's just afraid, and it's not a source for you to turn to. So, this card speaks to, for me, about, I don't know, with the image with the three swords going through. I don't know why this is coming to me right now, but it's like, you know, the heart is pure and gentle, but it's also sensitive, and we have to be extra sensitive about how we communicate, how we judge. Don't judge yourself and you won't judge others. So be compassionate. So I get the feeling about this card is for you to practice compassion, to comfort others when you don't know quite how to comfort yourself, when you're in a situation where you feel like you are being because when your ego perceives you as being separate, then it takes everything personally, right? And so therefore it attacks, or you feel like you're always being attacked. And what they want you to do is to counteract this, is to amplify, and they write the word augment. The archangels want you to augment your compassion. They want you to, in the face of this, and this is not to say to not stand up for yourself, but see, your idea of stand up for yourself is to defend the ego's position, and you're not stand up for yourself, meaning your soul, meaning your truth, your purpose. You're standing up for your ego, which is an illusion. So stand up for yourself. This is what it means to stand up for yourself, is to be who you truly are, to activate the original blueprints of cosmic love within you. So activate compassion instead, forgiveness instead, okay? But first forgive yourself. Remember, you're not forgiving anyone for the sake of forgiving them. You're doing it for yourself first, because when you have regrets, when you are taking things personally, you disrupt that access to the comfort, the way of comfort in your life, so that you can begin that road, to walk that road in harmony, in alignment with the universal laws. Because that's what they're writing out in front of me. Because I was trying to get something else out, but that's what they really want you to say. The universal laws are a gift to you and how they work. So everything you do for the highest good, because when you do that, it places you in alignment with the source of all of that good. But when you go the other way, it disconnects you from it. And this is not what God would give you, and therefore you shouldn't give to yourself. This is the only way to really truly love yourself, is to understand from your soul's perspective what you truly deserve. Okay? Right, so we have another difficult card here, and can be perceived that way, the 10 of fire. And this card is about taking on too much, taking too much onto yourself, taking too much responsibility, being weighed down so heavily, because it's suit of fire is about, inspiration, your creativity, your insights. And when you don't take care of yourself, so this is about self-care. The first part is about another form of that comfort or self-care, which is to not take everything personally, and to to stand in your power by actualizing the love, the capacity of love and compassion that you truly have, the ability to forgive, not to not for the other person, but for yourself. Because when you forgive, when you let it go, you make yourself available to the the highest good that you deserve to experience. And here I'm getting a sense that you want to be careful that you are not taking on so much responsibilities, and that you're feeling so, it almost, I feel like it's like someone who feels like they have to compensate, that you have to um, it's like it's almost like a feeling like you walk through the world feeling like you need to take on everything for everyone else, um, in order to be worthy to be there. I don't know if I'm getting this across the way I'm feeling it, but it's like you've weighed yourself down, and you can't hear the voice of inspiration because you're always thinking the opposite, as if you you feel like other people deserve to be happy and free, and that you need to make up for something that you haven't done, so you compensate by taking on other things for other people. It's just like you see yourself as this servant. Now, we all are here to serve, but you're here to serve through your spiritual power, which they're writing out the word passion. You when you serve through a passion, it's very different than thinking of yourself as a servant, where somebody can just dump everything on you, and you don't feel that you have the right to ask for something different, or to want something different, to make choices that allow you to have a different experience. So this is this feeling I'm getting, this dynamic about service. We're all here to be of service, but we're here to fulfill. That's inspired by our passion, by a passion. But this other thing is not inspired, and it's definitely not a passion, because it's draining your energy, and it's holding you back. It's keeping you from moving forward. It's keeping you from shining, or it's keeping you from fulfilling a dream, or beginning your own project. So it's something that it's inhibiting you from standing in the sun, so to speak, the fire, the sun. And so they really want you to let whatever that is, or whatever message this is not something you have to like. We think, oh, I got to go back and learn and work over this, and sit down and talk about this problem so I can fix it. No, it starts with one step at a time. First, noticing what you're doing, then accepting that what you're noticing isn't in alignment for you. Why? Because it doesn't feel good to you. Why? Because you think your life is miserable. And if you even perceive that, that is a coming from your ego. And so therefore, this is not the right thing for you to be doing. And so the thing is that when you ask God to show you, to reveal to you, you call on God and pray for comfort, they will begin to inspire you with the ideas of change that you need to implement. You just have to realize that you deserve them, and to not nobody. Let me put it this way: nobody's asking you if you think it's okay or not. If you if you'll be okay. Don't do that. It's like when I go to the I wasn't going to the gym for a while at the beginning of this year because I would get up every morning and go, oh, should I go to the gym today? Like, don't ask yourself questions like that. Now for the last 3 weeks, I just get up. There's no questions to be asked. This is something that I need to do, and I know it. It makes me feel good, so I do it. As soon as you ask a question, you create the seed of doubt. You don't need to go over and discuss everything. I'm talking about decisions that only you can make. It's not, these are the kind of decisions that are not in the power of anyone else to make for you. Just you. So why ask whether you need to do it or not? You know what you need to do because you feel it in your heart. And whether you feel ready for it or not, that's a whole nother story. And you can battle with that, but don't. Just tell yourself, I know this is something I need to do. I'm never going to ask a question again. I'm just going to proceed to do it the best that I can each day and move forward in that way. Okay, let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. Okay, so we have the Emperor here. And with all this energy that seems like we're having this week starting off where we're just feeling we're lacking power, we're here comes the Emperor to stand in. And the Emperor here is coming in because you need a plan. You need structure. And for some of us, this is a very ugly word, but that's because you are thinking outside of your truth, right? So each of us has, it's like we're a little cosmos in the universe and we have our own design and our own atmosphere, and we have our ways, we have our customs. You have, there are parts there, instead of fighting your personality and criticizing and judging it as most of us do, why don't you shift that attitude and look at your personality as the gem, the priceless gem that God and the angels see. So instead of trying to fit yourself into the structure of someone else, why don't you work with your own? There are ways that you like to work. There are things that inspire you. There are things that motivate you. There are things that make you excited. There's certain order you already need in your life. Okay, so you don't have to reinvent it. You just have to work with it. You have to work with it. Work with what you have, and then you can build upon that. You can improve it. But if you're judging it, you don't have something to start with. There's nothing wrong with us. We spend a lot of time focusing on what's wrong with us. There's nothing wrong with us. Each of us is who we need to be, and there's a lot that we can learn from who we truly are if we would look at ourselves as special and look at our ways as being special. But you can't do that when you are looking at others and seeing what they do, and then you turn around because you see yourself as different. You don't see the oneness, and you think there's something wrong with the way you do or the way that you are inclined, and there's nothing wrong with that. So this is the Emperor. The week is coming in, and somehow this is to remind you to work with your own natural structure, your own natural design, your natural tendencies, your hobbies, your strategies, your approach, and to then enhance them, to polish them. I'm getting a sense of, because the Empress comes before, so all that creative, all that creative space, that right brain, that flow, and all of a sudden, right after her comes structure, line, form. So it's not so much about the structure too, but think about form. You're bringing something into form as well, and there's a process, there's a way that you do that. So another message about this card may be your process. You have a process, or you need to begin working with your process that helps you to achieve the things that you do. And so start with the things that you do well. Don't worry about the things that you feel weak. And I know this also too well. Because I'm like many of you. I'm very spiritual and very heart based, and I'm not very analytical. But I had to learn when I was teaching to kind of discover those things. But I always stuck with my strength, which is my heart. I taught from there. However I deal with people, I start from there, and that's where I feel confident. That's where I feel good, and I feel in my power. When I'm in that place, when I start there, I can learn the other things that are necessary in order that I need to incorporate in order to fulfill something that I truly want to accomplish. So don't just focus on the weakness, because if you do that, you discard and disregard your 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 natural abilities and talents. I think that's what the message here is, to not get that. And also, this may mean that in this instance, you may need to take a place, stand in your power. Remember what we said about that, right? And stand in your power, that means stand in the love and that compassion first for yourself, and know that whatever is overwhelming you, you don't deserve. Whatever is hurting you, you don't deserve. And nobody else can make up that your mind about that but you. That's not a decision to put in somebody else's hand. It's yours. And stop making excuses for hurting yourself by judging yourself so harshly, and letting other people hurt you, because the only reason that it seems like people are being hurtful towards you is because you do it first all day long inside yourself. You repeat it. And if you want to say, oh, but I learned this from so and so in my past, some member of my family, well, you learned it, but you also repeated it. I hate to put it that way, but you repeat. Nobody has power over you. You give it to them by repeating it or taking it personally. And this is what we have to learn if we're going to really move towards that path of ascension. It's not about taking the blame, but it's just being truthful, because it's recognizing that you didn't know how powerful you were in that moment, but now you do. And so you go back, when you speak of that, you just go, I had the power to, I chose to repeat it. I didn't do it intentionally, but I did. So therefore that person's free, and now I can be free. See, just get to the point of making yourself free. That's your goal. You're not going back there to get them to apologize and do that. Your goal is to find peace and freedom. So give it to yourself. Don't make any excuses any longer that forbids you from having what you deserve. Same thing here. It's a decision. You got to make that decision about not seeing yourself that way and taking on all these things to compensate, or taking on these things. You say, okay, yeah, I'm afraid of moving on. I'm afraid of being in the spotlight. I'm afraid of standing in the sun in my own power. That's me. That's what I did. So I'm ready to stop doing that. And I'm going to start by doing this and keep proceeding each day. All right? So the Emperor asks us to come in and take command of our lives. I feel like there's things you just keep talking about, thinking about, but you've been brainstorming it, with the Empress, but you're not doing anything about it. And you don't have to do it in a way that Doing anything about it means just doing anything that you are comfortable with that moves you a step at a time away from that. But do it through in a way that you feel loved and nurtured. Okay, so wow. So this is going to be an intense week, and it's here we go. Two of air, the card I pulled from the bottom. You have some important decisions to make, and you're not going to be able to get around it. You just now you have to face those decisions, and it's like everything is coming to a head. You're going to confront it one way or the other, but you're not going around it. You're not going to be able to step around it. And this is going to be the most powerful thing when you just finally go ahead and make. I feel like you're going to be making a bunch of decisions this week. You're just going to finally just realize, okay, no more excuses, no more waiting for somebody to rescue me. The angels are supporting me. They're giving me the ideas. I just got to make the decision. I got to trust myself and believe that I'm not weak, and that I'm strong, and that I'm capable. The Emperor. And so once you make these decisions, decide your course of action, you know, and decide how you want to feel in the situation. And once you do this, you're going to feel good. And you wouldn't have to feel like you're not going to step on anybody's toes. Well, not intentionally, because all you're doing is making decisions for yourself. You're going to feel like you're stepping on their toes if you keep hesitating because of this or someone else, this situation or this person. Or as long as you keep factoring them in, these are decisions that you keep factoring in outside, the outside stuff, and you keep getting stuck. And then that's why you experience the same thing over and over again. Now you're going to make that decision. And this is going to bring that comfort to your heart, because you're going to be back in that place of clarity, peace, joy, and profound love, where passions are flowing within you, and you are become excited about life and the business of living it and fulfilling your soul. All right. So I send you lots of love and angel blessings. And I thank you for joining us, and thank you for your comments on the videos. I've read them. And thank you for letting me know how this work impacts you and the things that you're experiencing as well. And if you're looking for an angel reading, you can contact me at theangelschool.com, the services page, which you can find that link below this video. You can also, the daily card messages, you can join us there on my Facebook page. That link is below this video as well in the description area. This week I will probably take the 4th of July off, and I may be off a few more days in this part of the month in terms of the daily card messages, but I will do all of the weekly readings, so don't worry. But just the daily card messages. We've had a lot of fun. And if you haven't joined there, because there's more in-depth information and stuff that comes up. I mean, every one of these readings, for me, I have no idea what's coming through. And I'm walking into new territory myself and learning myself. So, because I'm connecting with each of your higher self. And so this is the collective, that oneness of all of us that we're experiencing here together. And I read your comments, and everybody generally feels like I'm talking to you because I'm listening to you. You're talking to me. That's what's going on. All right, your higher self is talking to me. So God bless you, and have a beautiful week.